students, welcome back to my channel. This is a new week, so a new video is coming. Today's lesson is on Unit 2, Fact or Fiction from Form 1 Pulse 2 textbook. For today's lesson, we are going to focus on listening skill. For this topic, you will learn new vocabulary about professions. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. Now let us proceed to the first part for today's topic, which is the pre-lesson. So before we start, I want you to see this word. Can you see this word? Okay, so this is the word of job. So when you see this word, what can you explain or what did you know about this word? Okay, job or known as employment or work and occupation is a person's role in society, or more specifically, a job is an activity that is regularly and performed in exchange for payment. Now, I want you to list all the jobs that you know. You have 1 minute to list down all the jobs that you know. Have you done? If yes, let us chat together. So this is the list of the jobs that we know. The first one is doctor. The second one is nurse. The third one is teacher. And then the fourth one is pilot. I'm pretty sure that all of you know this job. Now we can proceed to the activities. We can continue with the second part of today's lesson, which is the activities. So we will start with the first activity, which is activity 1. For activity 1, you need to listen to the audio and repeat the words in blue. This word you will find in the timeline about people who changed the world. You can refer to your Pulse 2 textbook in page 23. This is the timeline that I made to you. As you can see, the timeline begins with number 1 and continue with number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So for every timeline, you will have the word that you need to listen and repeat it. Are you ready? If yes, we will start to listen to the audio.
vocabulary and listening. Professions. Engineer. Painter. Explorer. Comedian. Pilot. Dancer. Astronaut. Musician. Scientist. Inventor. Writer. Politician. Athlete.
Have you heard all the words in blue from the timeline just now? This is the list of the words in blue that you can find in the timeline. The first word is engineer. Number 2 is painter. Number 3 is explorer. Number 4 is comedian. Number 5 is pilot. Number 6 is dancer. Number 7 is astronaut. Number 8 is musician. Number 9 is scientist. Number 10 is inventor. Number 11 is writer. Number 12 is politician. Number 13 is athlete. Before that, I want to check whether do you understand all the different professions. As you can see on this slide, this is the definition for all the professions that we learned just now. As you can see, engineer is a person who designs, builds, or maintains engine, machine, or structures. Painter is an artist who paints pictures. Explorer is a person who explores a new or unfamiliar area. Comedian is an entertainer on stage or television whose act is designed to make an audience laugh. Pilot is a person who operates the flying controls of an aircraft. Dancer is a person who dances or whose profession is dancing. Astronaut is a person who is trained to travel in a spacecraft. Musician is a person who plays a musical instrument, especially as a profession, or is musically talented. Scientist is a person who is studying or has expert knowledge of one or more of the natural or physical sciences. Inventor is a person who invented a particular process or device or who invents things as an occupation. Writer is a person who has written something or who writes in a particular way. Politician is a person who is professionally involved in politics, especially as a holder of an elected office. The last word is athlete. Athlete is a person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise. I'm sure you all know about these professions that we learned just now. We are done with the first activity. We will move on to the second activity, which is activity 2. This is activity 2. Activity 2, you need to match the names with the description in the timeline. As you can see, these are the names of peoples that you need to match with the description in the timeline. As you can see, this is the timeline. So you need to match which the profession that suitable, the name of the person that do the professions that you mentioned in the timeline. Okay, so as you can see, we have 13 different professions, so we have 13 different names and you need to match which one is suits the best. If you do not know which names match with the description, you can just guess, because later we will discuss the answer. I will give you the link for you to do this activity too. After you are done, we can discuss the answers together.
Vocabulary and listening. Professions. 1. The engineer is C. Charles Babbage. 2.
The painter is G. Pablo Picasso.
3. The explorer is J. Roald Amundsen. 4.
The comedian is A. Charlie Chaplin.
5. The pilot is L. Amy Johnson. 6.
The dancer is D. Carmen Amaya.
7. The astronaut is M. Neil Armstrong. 8.
The musician is I. John Lennon.
9. The scientist is K. Tim Berners-Lee. 10.
The inventor is E. Mark Zuckerberg.
11. The writer is F. J.K. Rowling. 12.
The politician is B. Barack Obama.
13. The athlete is H. Mo Farah.
Did you get all the answers just now? If no, it's okay because I have this answer shown in the slide. So for A, Charlie Chaplin is a comedian. Barack Obama is a politician. Charles Babbage is a engineer. Carmen Amaya is a dancer. Mark Zuckerberg is a inventor. J.K. Rowling is a writer. Pablo Picasso is a painter. Mo Farah is an athlete. John Lennon is a musician. Roald Amundsen is an explorer. Tim Berners-Lee is a scientist. Amy Johnson is a pilot. And the last one, Neil Armstrong is an astronaut. We have done with the second activity. Now we proceed to the exercises. We are done for activity 1 and activity 2. I do hope you understand and also can remember all the professions that we learned from the activities just now. And you also need to remember the names of the people together with their professions. Now, we can proceed to the exercises. This is the exercises part. In this part, you will have two exercises, which is exercise 1 and exercise 2. For exercise 1, you need to listen to an interview session. This is the link for the exercise. I will play the audio and you need to answer the question according to the audio that you have listened. When you click on the link, you will go straight to the Google Form site. So this is the view from my Google Form. For this Google Form, we have two sections, which is I separated by two parts, exercise 1 and exercise 2. So exercise 1 in section 1 and exercise 2 in section 2. As you can see, the first exercise, you need to read the instruction first before you answer the question. As you can see there, that is the question for exercise 1. Based on the audio, what are the names do they mention from activity 2? Meaning that you need to write the names that we learned in activity 2 just now and write the names that the reporter mentioned only according to the audio. For section 2, we have exercise 2. You need to read the instruction before you answer the question. So we have 5 questions for exercise 2. The first question is, what does the woman think of the reporter's question? Question number 2, who does the woman admire? Question number 3 is, what is the boy's opinion of Facebook? Question number 4, who does the girl admire? Where is he originally from? And then the last question is, what does she say the person shows? So you need to write all your answer according to the audio that you listen. Once you are done, you can submit and we will discuss the answer later.
Unit 2. Vocabulary and Listening. An interview.
Tonight, we're talking about important people in modern history, and I'll be introducing tonight's guests in just a moment. First of all, we sent our reporter, Sam Jenkins, out and about to see what you had to say on the subject.
Sorry to bother you. Do you mind if I ask you something?
No, of course not.
Which person in modern history do you admire the most?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
We're doing a survey to find out what people think.
I see. Can it be anyone?
Yes. A politician, a painter, an athlete, whatever. Someone that you think has made a difference to the world.
Well then, for me, it's the musician, John Lennon. He was a talented singer and wrote some really beautiful songs. He believed that people should live in peace.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for your time.
No problem.
Hi there. Have you got a minute? I just want to ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
We're trying to find out which famous person from modern history people admire. Who would you choose?
Well, the only person I can think of is the guy who invented Facebook. What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg?
That's right. I'll choose him because I think Facebook was a really clever idea. I mean, it's completely changed the way people communicate.
Right. Thanks. Are you two together?
Yes.
Okay. So, can I ask you the same question?
Yeah, sure. I don't agree with Jason because I don't think Facebook is such an amazing invention.
Okay.
For me, it has to be someone who really gives people hope. Like that runner, Mo Farah. He moved to the UK from Somalia when he was a boy and became a really successful athlete. He won 2 gold medals at the London Olympics. I think he's amazing because he shows that anything is possible when you try hard.
Great. Thanks a lot. Well, we're going back to the studio now.
Did you get all the answer for exercise 1? If yes, let us discuss together. As you can see, this is the answer for exercise 1. Based on the audio, what are the names do they mention from activity 2? The first name is John Lennon. The second name is Mark Zuckerberg. The third name is Mo Farah. So these are the names of people that they mentioned from the interview session. Now, we will proceed to the second exercise, which is exercise 2. For exercise 2, you need to answer the question based on the audio. This is the link for exercise 2.
Unit 2. Vocabulary and listening. An interview.
Tonight, we're talking about important people in modern history, and I'll be introducing tonight's guests in just a moment. First of all, we sent our reporter, Sam Jenkins, out and about to see what you had to say on the subject.
Sorry to bother you. Do you mind if I ask you something?
No, of course not.
Which person in modern history do you admire the most?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
We're doing a survey to find out what people think.
I see. Can it be anyone?
Yes. A politician, a painter, an athlete, whatever. Someone that you think has made a difference to the world.
Well then, for me, it's the musician, John Lennon. He was a talented singer and wrote some really beautiful songs, he believed that people should live in peace.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for your time.
No problem.
Hi there. Have you got a minute? I just want to ask you a quick question.
Go ahead.
We're trying to find out which famous person from modern history people admire. Who would you choose?
Well, the only person I can think of is the guy who invented Facebook. What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg?
That's right. I'll choose him because I think Facebook was a really clever idea. I mean, it's completely changed the way people communicate.
Right. Thanks. Are you two together?
Yes.
Okay. So, can I ask you the same question?
Yeah, sure. I don't agree with Jason because I don't think Facebook is such an amazing invention.
Okay.
For me, it has to be someone who really gives people hope. Like that runner, Mo Farah. He moved to the UK from Somalia when he was a boy and became a really successful athlete. He won 2 gold medals at the London Olympics. I think he's amazing because he shows that anything is possible when you try hard.
Great. Thanks a lot. Well, we're going back to the studio now.
Have you answered all the questions just now? I will discuss the answers with you. So these are the answers for exercise 2. For question number 1, what does the woman think of the reporter's question? So the woman think that it is difficult question. For number 2, who does the woman admire? The woman admire John Lennon. Question number 3, what is the boy's opinion of Facebook? His opinion of Facebook is it was a really clever idea and it is completely changed the way people communicate. For question number 4, who does the girl admire? Where is he originally from? So the girl admire Mo Farah and he is originally from Somalia. The last question is, what does she say the person shows? So the answer is that anything is possible when you try hard. But if you just answer anything is possible also can. So have you got all the answer? I think that's all for exercise 2. This is the last part of today's lesson, which is post lesson. In this post lesson, we are going to do a recap on today's topic. What have you learned today? So today, we learned about vocabulary and listening. We also learned about professions and then the timeline of the people who changed the world. So, can you give me what are the types of professions that you have learned? We have 13 different types of professions. For example, like engineer, painter, writer, musician, and astronaut. Can you give the name of the person, include his or her profession? So we have 13 names of peoples, but I only give 3, which is the first one, Charlie Chaplin, a young comedian, appeared in the first of many black and white films in 1914. We also have Neil Armstrong, which is he is an American astronaut walked on the moon in 1969. And then we have Tim Berners-Lee, which is he is a computer scientist, invented the World Wide Web in 1989. I think that's all for today's lesson. Thank you. Alright, student, that is all from today's lesson. I really hope that you can